The slap echoed across the cafeteria like a gunshot. Corporal Brad Mitchell's palm connected with the back of her head so hard that Petty Officer Jasmine Carter's face slammed toward the table, her lunch tray exploding across the floor. Mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans. Everywhere. 173 Marines and sailors froze mid-bite. "Wrong table, girl," Mitchell snarled, standing over her. "This section's for real Marines, not Navy paper pushers who don't know their place." He didn't see the thin silver chain beneath her collar, didn't know about the Navy SEAL trident hiding there, one of fewer than 30 ever awarded to a black woman. He'd just made the worst mistake of his life. If you're watching tonight, hit subscribe right now, stay until the end, drop your city in the comments, because I need to see how far this story travels. You won't believe what happens next. Jasmine Carter tasted blood. Her lip had split when her face hit the table. The metallic taste spread across her tongue as she pushed herself upright, slow and controlled. Every eye in the Camp Lejeune mess hall locked onto her. 173 people. She'd counted when she walked in. Force of habit. Exits, 4. Weapons within reach, 11. Threats requiring immediate attention, 0. Until Corporal Brad Mitchell changed the math. She stood, turned, looked at him. Mitchell took a half step back before he could stop himself. His buddies noticed. Lance Corporals Martinez and Chen, flanking him like hyenas waiting for scraps, saw their alpha hesitate. Jasmine touched the chain at her throat, made sure it was still hidden. Then she walked out. No words, no tears. Just her boots clicking on linoleum while 172 people held their breath. "That's right, Squid," Mitchell called after her, voice too loud. "Run back to your ship where you belong." Martinez high-fived him. Chen laughed, but 3 tables away, Staff Sergeant Marcus Williams wasn't laughing. Williams was 41, black, 3 combat tours, 18 months with JSOC in Ramadi. He knew operators when he saw them. The way they moved, the way they processed rooms, the way they decided whether targets were worth killing. That Navy woman moved like an operator. He pulled out his phone. "Need background check." Petty Officer 3rd Class Jasmine Carter, Camp Lejeune. "Something's off." The reply came in 3 minutes. "That file's above your pay grade, Marcus. Way above. Stop asking." Williams stared at his phone, looked at the door Jasmine had used, started asking harder questions. Jasmine went straight to the base gym, changed into PT gear, started hitting the heavy bag. Left jab, right cross, left hook. Her father had taught her to box at 8 years old. Master Chief Jerome Carter, SEAL Team 2. Backyard in Atlanta, worn-out gloves that smelled like sweat and leather. "Anger makes you stupid," he'd said. "Stupid gets you killed." He'd died in Syria, 2019. Stayed behind during an ambush, covered his team's extraction. Bullet through the throat. Jasmine had been 17. Day after the funeral, she walked into a recruiting office. "I want to be a SEAL." The recruiter laughed. "Ma'am, there's no such thing as a female SEAL." "Then I'll be the first." She wasn't the first, but she was among them. Bud/S Class 351, 2022. 3 women started. Only she finished. Hell Week didn't break her. Surf torture didn't break her. Instructors screaming in her face about women, about black women, about how she didn't belong didn't break her. Somalia almost did. Left jab, right cross, left hook. Harder now. The bag swung. Her knuckles split. She kept hitting. "You're going to break your hands." Jasmine spun. Colonel Patricia Hayes, base commander. First black woman to hold that position at Lejeune. Silver eagles on her collar, gray hair tight in a bun, eyes like gunmetal. "Ma'am?" Jasmine snapped to attention. "At ease." Hayes walked closer, grabbed Jasmine's wrist, examined the raw knuckles. "I heard what happened in the mess hall. It was nothing, ma'am. A Marine corporal assaulted a Navy petty officer in front of 160 witnesses?" Hayes's grip tightened. "That's not nothing." "I don't want to make a formal complaint, ma'am." "I know you don't." Hayes released her wrist. "I also know why." Jasmine's stomach dropped. "Ma'am?" "I read your file this morning, your real file. Required 3 phone calls and direct authorization from the CNO." Hayes pulled out her phone, showed Jasmine the screen. Classified, SEAL Team 8, Somalia, 2024. 11 aid workers, Hayes said quietly. Al-Shabaab compound, 60 to 1 odds. "You held that position for 38 hours with no extraction coming." Jasmine said nothing. Petty Officer Deshaun Brooks and Chief Petty Officer Maria Santos didn't make it out. Still nothing. Brooks took a round covering your 6. Santos bled out in your arms. You held her hand, told her about your father, promised her you'd stop. "Ma'am?" Jasmine's voice cracked. "Please." Hayes put the phone away. "Why are you here, Petty Officer? You could be anywhere, with your team, running operations. Instead, you requested transfer to a desk job at a Marine base. Spent 2 months letting corporals like Mitchell treat you like target practice." She stepped closer. "Why?" "I made a promise." "To who?" "To them." Jasmine touched the chain at her throat. "To Brooks and Santos. To my father. That if I survived, I'd find another way. A way that didn't involve..." She stopped. Hayes finished for her. "Killing people." Silence. Hayes reached into her pocket, pulled out folded paper, handed it over. Joint readiness assessment, 3-day field evaluation, physical endurance, tactical problem solving, combat casualty care. "I'm requiring Corporal Mitchell's squad to participate," Hayes said, "and I'm specifically requesting you, not as an evaluator, as a competitor." Jasmine read it, looked up. "Ma'am, if I compete, people will figure out I'm not a desk sailor." "Good." Hayes's smile was sharp as broken glass. "Maybe it's time they learned. I came here to disappear. You came here to hide. There's a difference." Hayes's voice went hard. "Hiding doesn't honor the people who died for you. Doesn't honor your father. Doesn't help the next generation of women who want to follow your path." Jasmine flinched. "You have skills 99% of this military will never possess," Hayes continued. "Earned through sacrifice and the deaths of people you loved. You can waste them pushing papers and getting slapped, or you can show every person on this base what a real warrior looks like." She turned. "Assessment starts Monday, 0600. I expect to see you there." Gone before Jasmine could respond. Jasmine didn't sleep that night. Lay on her rack, stared at water-stained ceiling tiles, ran the math. If she competed at full capability, cover blown, questions asked, file pulled, everyone would know. If she didn't compete, disobeying a direct order from a colonel, if she competed but held back, let Mitchell win, she'd betray everything her father taught her about honor. "Never lie about what you are," Jerome Carter had said. "You stand up and show them who you are, or you die a coward." He'd lived those words, died living them. Jasmine pulled the chain from under her pillow. The trident hung cold and heavy. 2 dog tags beside it. Brooks, Deshaun M. Santos, Maria R. 14 months she'd carried them, every day, every night. "I don't know what to do," she whispered. I came here to stop, to be normal, to find peace. But somewhere in her memory, Brooks's voice answered, Peace isn't the absence of fighting, Jazz. Peace is knowing what you're fighting for. Monday was coming, and Jasmine still didn't know which version of herself would show up. Meanwhile, Mitchell was already planning his victory. Saturday morning, base gym, bench press with Martinez and Chen.
You see her face? Mitchell crowed, loading another plate. Thought she was gonna cry. Pathetic. Think she'll report it? Martinez asked. No chance. Mitchell positioned himself under the bar. Her type never does. Too scared. He lifted, muscles straining. Besides, what's she gonna say? Mean Marine hurt my feelings? She'd get laughed off base. Heard Colonel Hayes is making us do that field assessment, Chen said. Mitchell racked the weight, grinned. Perfect. I'll crush it. Get on the Commandant's promotion list. Navy's participating too. Even better. Mitchell's grin widened. I'll crush her. Show everyone what happens when you put females in warrior billets. Across the gym, Williams watched, listened, sent another text. Contact confirmed with NABSOC. You need to see this file. Attend Monday's assessment. Front row seat to history. But Williams wasn't the only one paying attention. Master Gunnery Sergeant Carlos Rodriguez had gotten a call from Hayes herself Friday night. I need you to evaluate the Joint Readiness Assessment Monday, she'd said. Yes, ma'am. Any particular reason? Because we're about to find out what happens when someone who's been pretending to be weak decides to stop pretending. Rodriguez had run special operations training for 20 years, worked with SEALs, Raiders, Delta. He knew the sound of something big about to break. I'll be there, ma'am. Sunday evening, Jasmine packed her gear. 65 pounds. Equipment, water, simulated ammo. Standard load. She'd carried heavier in Mogadishu, carried wounded teammates on top of it. Her hands moved automatically. Fold uniforms, roll socks, organize medical kit. Check blade, recheck blade. Her roommate, Yeoman Second Class Angela Rodriguez, watched from her rack. You okay, Carter? Fine. You don't look fine. You look like you're packing for war. Jasmine didn't answer, because that's exactly what she was doing. War with her past, with Mitchell's hate, with the promise she'd made to the dead, with everything she'd tried to leave behind. At 2300, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. You don't know me, but I knew your father. Served with Jerome in Afghanistan. Best man I ever knew. Whatever happens tomorrow, make him proud. Make them all proud. Jasmine stared at the message, typed one word. Roger. Lights out. She lay in darkness, listening to Angela's breathing slow into sleep. Tomorrow would either destroy everything she'd built or reveal everything she'd hidden. No middle ground. No going back. At 05:30 Monday morning, Jasmine arrived at the staging area. Early, on purpose. Wanted to see the terrain before anyone else. 40 participants showed by 05:45. 38 Marines, 2 Navy. Jasmine and a baby-faced hospital corpsman who looked like he'd never seen real physical training. Mitchell arrived at 05:50, saw Jasmine, smirked. Well, Squid decided to play soldier. Jasmine said nothing. Counted exits, cataloged equipment, identified evaluators. 3 days, 72 hours. She'd done this before. Somalia. Held a compound 72 hours against overwhelming force. This should be easy. But her hands were shaking, because this time, she wasn't fighting to survive. She was fighting to remember who she was. Colonel Hayes appeared at exactly 0600. Behind her, Rodriguez. Master Gunnery Sergeant.
3 silver stars, 20 years training special operations. He'd worked with SEALs before. He'd know what to look for. Hayes stood in front of the formation. This assessment has 3 phases: physical endurance, tactical problem solving, combat casualty care under stress. Results go in your permanent record. Performance will be evaluated. She paused. Let that sink in. This isn't a competition, Hayes said. This is a revelation. By the end of 3 days, you'll know exactly what you're made of. Her eyes found Jasmine, held for 2 seconds. And so will everyone else. Hayes turned, left. Rodriguez stepped forward. First evolution, 15 miles, full combat load, simulated casualties throughout. Anyone falls out, documented. Anyone quits, goes home.
His eyes swept the group. Questions? Silence. Gear up. Clock starts 0630. Jasmine shouldered her pack. 65 pounds settled across her shoulders like an old friend. Mitchell grunted under his load. Hope you can keep up, squid. Jasmine didn't answer, just started walking, 1 foot in front of the other. Breathe in for 4 steps, out for 4. Her father's voice in her head. Pain is just information. Process it. Move past it. Mile 1. Mile 2. Mitch textbook was talking trash behind her, loud enough for her to hear. Navy sends their females to do a Marine's job. That's why we're losing wars. Mile 3. Mile 4. Bet she's never seen anything more dangerous than a paper cut. Mile 5. Jasmine's pace never changed, but behind her Mitchell's did. By mile 6, he was breathing hard, form deteriorating, shoulders hunched, steps shortened. By mile 8, 12 people had dropped out. Mitchell was still moving. Barely. Jasmine looked like she'd just started. Rodriguez noticed, made a note on his clipboard. Williams, running in the middle of the pack, noticed too. Pulled out his phone, took a photo of Jasmine's form. Perfect posture, perfect stride. Sent it to his JSOC contact. The reply came back immediately. That's not a desk sailor. Williams smiled. No, she's not. Mile 10, first simulated casualty. Mannequin with fake blood across the trail. Evaluators watching with clipboards. Participants stopped. Assessed. Attempted treatment. Mitchell knelt, breathing ragged. Tried to apply a tourniquet, hands shaking. Fumbled the windlass. Dropped it. Cursed. Picked it up. Dropped it again. Time, Rodriguez called. Casualty bled out. Move to secondary position. Mitchell's face went red, frustration and embarrassment. Jasmine approached the second mannequin 30 meters ahead. Multiple wounds. Gunshot chest. Shrapnel legs. She knelt. Her hands moved like she'd done this 1,000 times. Because she had. Chest seal first. Rip the package. Clean the wound. Apply during exhalation. Press. Seal. Tourniquet high and tight on the thigh, 2 inches above the wound. Windlass. Twist. Lock. Secondary wounds. Pack. Pressure. Maintain. 12 seconds start to finish. Time, Rodriguez called. Casualty stabilized. Excellent protocol. He made another note. Underlined it twice. Martinez, watching from 10 meters back, whispered to Chen. How the hell did she do that so fast? Chen shook his head. I don't know, man. That wasn't normal. Mitchell heard them, his jaw clenched. Mile 12. More people dropping. The heat was brutal. August in North Carolina, 95 degrees. Humidity like breathing through a wet towel. Mitchell's face was purple, sweat pouring. He'd already gone through 2 canteens. Jasmine had barely touched hers. Mile 14. Mitch stumbled, caught himself, kept moving through sheer stubbornness.
Martinez grabbed his arm. "You okay, man?" "I'm fine," Mitchell snarled, jerking away. "Just fine." But he wasn't fine. His ego was being shredded in real time. Mile 15, the finish line. 19 of the original 40 still standing. Mitchell crossed, collapsed, hands on knees, gasping like he'd been underwater. Jasmine crossed 30 seconds later, breathing steady, not even winded.
Rodriguez walked over.
"Petty Officer Carter." "Master Guns. Hell of a pace you kept." "Just one foot in front of the other, Master Guns." He studied her. Eyes dropped to her forearms. Faded scars across the knuckles. Rope burns on her wrists. "Those from training?" "Some." "And the others?" Jasmine met his eyes. "Places that don't have names on maps." Rodriguez nodded slow. "Get water. Phase 2 starts in 2 hours." He walked away, but Jasmine felt his attention like a physical weight. The secret was slipping. 2-hour break. Participants scattered. Some ate, some slept. Most just lay in the shade trying to recover. Mitchell sat with Martinez and Chen under a tree. "She's good," Martinez said quietly. "Better than good." "She got lucky," Mitchell snapped. "That wasn't luck, man. That was—" "I said she got lucky." Mitchell's voice went dangerous. "And phase 2 is tactics.
That's where real warriors separate from pretenders.
You watch. I'm gonna show everyone what she really is." Martinez exchanged a look with Chen. Neither said anything. Across the staging area, Williams approached Rodriguez. "Master Guns, got a minute?" "Walk with me, Staff Sergeant." They moved out of earshot. "You see what I saw?" Williams asked. "Petty Officer Carter moving like she's done this before?" "Not just done it, mastered it." Williams pulled out his phone.
Showed Rodriguez the photo he'd taken.
"Look at her form. Textbook, professional. That's not 2 months of desk duty. That's years of operational experience." Rodriguez studied the photo. "You think she's more than she appears?" "I know she is. I've been making calls. Her file's locked down tighter than nuclear codes, but I got confirmation from a contact at NAVSOC." Williams lowered his voice. "She's a SEAL." Rodriguez didn't look surprised. "I suspected."
"You suspected?"
"Staff Sergeant, I've been training special operations personnel for 20 years. I know what they look like." Rodriguez looked across the field at Jasmine. "Question is, what's she doing here pretending to be something she's not? And what happens when Corporal Mitchell finds out? Then we'll see what he's really made of." Phase 2 started at 1400. Tactical problem solving, building clearance scenarios. 2 teams. Each team gets a compound, multiple buildings, unknown number of hostiles, 1 hostage to recover. Rodriguez announced team assignments. Team 1, Corporal Mitchell as team leader. Martinez, Chen, Patterson, Kowalski, Davis. Mitchell stood straighter. Team leader. This was his chance. Team 2, Petty Officer Carter as team leader. The words hit like a flashbang. Mitchell's head snapped around. "Master Guns, with respect, she's Navy. She can't lead Marines in a tactical exercise." Rodriguez's voice could freeze jet fuel. "With respect, Corporal, I didn't ask for your opinion. Petty Officer Carter's file indicates instructor-level qualifications in small unit tactics. She's qualified." "But," "Did I stutter, Corporal?" Mitchell's jaw clenched. "No, Master Guns." "Then shut your mouth and listen." Rodriguez finished assignments. Jasmine got Williams, 3 lance corporals, and 2 privates who looked terrified. Williams caught her eye, gave her a small nod that said, "I know what you are, and I'm here to help." Jasmine nodded back. First scenario. 2-story structure, 6 rooms, 3 hostile role players, one hostage. Mitchell's team went first. They approached like they were filming an action movie. Mitchell kicked the front door without checking windows. Martinez and Chen flooded in behind him, weapons sweeping wildly. Patterson tripped over the threshold, his rifle discharged into the ceiling. "Contact front!" Mitchell screamed. He fired at the first role player he saw. It was the hostage. "Cease fire!" Rodriguez's voice boomed. "Cease fire! Hostage is dead! Team 1 has failed!" Mitchell's face went from red to purple. "That's not fair. The intelligence said, 'Intelligence is never perfect, Corporal.' That's why we practice positive identification before we shoot." Rodriguez made a note. Team 1, mission failed. Friendly casualty. 0 points. Mitchell looked like he wanted to punch someone. His eyes found Jasmine. Pure hate. Team 2, Rodriguez called. Same building, different configuration, different role player positions, 5 minutes to plan. Jasmine gathered her team in a tight circle, pulled a stick from the ground, drew the building layout in dirt. "Okay, here's what we're going to do." She marked entry points, angles of fire, dead zones. Standard 4-man stack on primary entrance. Staff Sergeant Williams, your point. Jenkins, you're 2. I'm 3. Morrison, rear security. The rest hold the perimeter. Watch the windows. "What about hostile ID?" Williams asked. "We clear systematically. No one shoots until we have positive identification. Weapon raised, aggressive posture, direct threat. Anything less, we challenge verbally first." "And the hostage?" "Hostages are usually in interior rooms. Limited exits, easy to control. We work outside in. Clear the perimeter first, then move center." One of the lance corporals, a kid named Jenkins, raised his hand. "Ma'am, you've done this before?" "Once or twice." Williams almost smiled. "Questions?" Jasmine asked. Silence. "Then stack up." What happened next took 4 minutes, 37 seconds. Jasmine's team moved through the building like water through pipes. Smooth, silent, coordinated. Each room cleared with textbook precision. Slice the pie, check corners, cook with hand signals, move to next objective. First role player in room 2, holding a weapon. "Drop it," Williams commanded. Role player complied, secured without a shot. Second role player in room 4, same result. Third role player was in the back bedroom with the hostage, knife to the hostage's throat. Most teams would hesitate, wait for negotiation, call for backup. Jasmine didn't hesitate. She stepped into the doorway, weapon raised. One word. "Release." The role player, a Marine staff sergeant named Torres, who'd played bad guys in hundreds of exercises, looked into her eyes, saw something that made his grip falter. Not fear, not aggression. Certainty. The kind that came from having done this for real, from having pulled triggers, from having saved hostages, from having killed men who needed killing. Torres released the hostage. "Building clear," Williams shouted. Rodriguez checked his stopwatch, checked his clipboard, checked again. Team 2, mission complete. 0 casualties. All hostiles neutralized. Hostage secured. He looked up. That's the fastest clear time I've seen in 15 years running this exercise. Mitchell stood at the building entrance, watching. His hands were shaking. Jasmine walked past him, didn't say a word, didn't need to. The results spoke for themselves. But Mitchell wasn't done, not even close. Second scenario, more complex. 3-building compound, multiple entry points, overlapping fields of fire, limited intelligence. Mitchell demanded another chance. Rodriguez allowed it. This time Mitchell actually tried to plan, drew diagrams, assigned positions, briefed contingencies. But planning and execution were different things. When the scenario started, Mitchell's team moved well for 30 seconds. Then Chen took a wrong turn, walked into a role player's line of fire. "Simulated casualty," an evaluator called. Martinez panicked, abandoned his position to help Chen, left Mitchell's flank exposed. Another simulated casualty. Mitchell tried to adapt, tried to adjust, but he was thinking like someone who'd learned tactics from manuals, not from experience, not from having actually been shot at. "Mission failed," Rodriguez announced. "2 friendly casualties. Compound not secured." Mitchell's team limped out, looking like they'd survived a car wreck. Jasmine's team went next. She changed the approach entirely.
"We're not going in the front," she said during planning. "Why not?" Jenkins asked. "Because that's what they expect. Front entrances are kill zones. Anyone defending this compound will have heavy coverage on obvious approaches." She drew new diagrams. "Staff Sergeant Williams, you take Morrison and Jenkins through the service entrance on the east side, low and quiet. I'll take the rest through the roof access on Building 2.
"The roof?" Morrison looked nervous.
"Is that even possible?"
"Maintenance hatch. Standard on these structures. Most people forget it's there." She met his eyes. "Trust me." Morrison swallowed, nodded. The scenario started. Williams's element moved through the east entrance like ghosts, silent, professional. Cleared the first building in 2 minutes flat. Jasmine's element went through the roof. She'd been right about the maintenance hatch. It opened into a utility corridor that bypassed the main defensive positions entirely. Her team moved through the building's interior, neutralized hostiles from angles they never expected. When the 2 elements linked up in the central courtyard, they'd cleared the entire compound. 0 simulated casualties. Rodriguez stared at his stopwatch. 3 minutes, 41 seconds. New course record. Williams looked at Jasmine with something approaching awe.
"Where the hell did you learn to do that?"
Jasmine touched the chain at her throat, felt the weight of the trident beneath her uniform.
"Somewhere that doesn't exist, Staff Sergeant."
The afternoon brought combat casualty care under stress. Multiple simulated casualties, limited supplies, active hostile fire using blank ammunition and pyrotechnics. This was where most people broke. The scenario started with an explosion, pyrotechnic charge, disorienting.
Then blank fire from 3 directions. Then screaming. Casualties everywhere.
Most participants froze. Some panicked. Mitchell was kneeling beside a mannequin with simulated arterial bleeding, his hands shaking so badly he couldn't grip the tourniquet. "Come on," he muttered. "Come on, come on." "You're doing it wrong." Jasmine appeared beside him, calm, focused, voice cutting through chaos like a blade. "The tourniquet goes 2 inches above the wound, not on it. You're trying to occlude the artery feeding the injury." "I know that," Mitchell snapped. "Then do it." His hands kept shaking. He dropped the tourniquet, cursed, picked it up, dropped it again. Jasmine reached past him, took the tourniquet from his hands. "Watch." She applied it in 3 seconds. Perfect placement, perfect tension. Simulated bleeding stopped. "Now the chest seal." She pointed to another mannequin nearby. "That one has a penetrating chest wound. Walk me through the procedure." Mitchell's brain scrambled. Identify the wound, clean the area, apply the seal during exhalation. During exhalation. Why? Because... He stopped, started again. Because you want to prevent air entering the chest cavity. If you apply during inhalation, you trap air inside, causes tension pneumothorax, kills the casualty faster than the original wound. Good. Now go apply it. I'll handle the others. She was gone before he could respond. For the next 12 minutes, Jasmine moved through the scenario like a surgeon in an ER, triaging casualties, directing treatment, correcting errors before they became fatal. She saved every single mannequin. When the scenario ended, Rodriguez gathered the participants. "That was the most chaotic CCC exercise I've run in 5 years," he said. "Half of you forgot basic protocols. A quarter froze completely." His eyes found Jasmine. "And a few of you performed like you've done this under actual combat conditions." Mitchell stood at the back, staring at the ground. He'd watched Jasmine work, watched her hands, steady and precise, do things his hands couldn't do. And for the first time, he started to wonder if maybe he'd been wrong about her. But wondering and accepting were different things, and Mitchell's ego had a long way to fall. That night around the assessment campfire, the dynamic had shifted. Marines who'd ignored Jasmine before now sat closer, asked questions, listened when she spoke. "Where'd you learn all that?" Patterson asked. "The building clearance? The medical stuff? I've been in 3 years. Never seen anyone move like you." "Training," Jasmine said. "That wasn't just training." Patterson struggled for words. "That was operator-level stuff. Raiders, that kind of thing." "I've worked with people who do that kind of thing." "Worked with them how?" Jasmine poked the fire with a stick. "In places where mistakes got people killed." Silence fell over the group. Williams cleared his throat. "Petty Officer Carter, if you don't mind my asking, what's your actual MOS, your actual job?" "Cryptologic technician. Signals intelligence." "Signals intelligence." Williams shook his head. "People who do signals intelligence don't move like you move." "Some do." "Name one." Jasmine looked up from the fire, met Williams's eyes directly. "I can't." The words hung in the air. Williams nodded slowly. Message received. Across the fire, Mitchell sat alone, watching the exchange. His hands were clenched into fists. His face was unreadable. But something was building behind his eyes, something that might be anger or shame, or something far more dangerous. Jasmine noticed, cataloged it, filed it away. Tomorrow was day 3, the final evolution. Whatever Mitchell was planning would happen then. She could feel it coming, like a storm building on the horizon, and when it broke, everything would change. The chain at her throat felt heavier than usual. She touched it, made sure it was secure. Because tomorrow, that chain might be all that stood between her and the violence she'd promised to leave behind. Tomorrow would decide everything. The trident spun twice before it hit the floor. Mitchell stared at it like it was a live grenade. The mess hall stayed frozen. 172 people watching a Navy SEAL badge lying between a Marine corporal's boots and a puddle of mashed potatoes. Jasmine's hand shot out, grabbed the trident, closed her fist around it. But Martinez had seen it. Chen had seen it. Williams had seen it. And Williams was already moving. "Everybody out!" Williams barked. His voice carried command weight that made lance corporals jump. "Mess hall's closed for cleaning. Move, now!" "Staff Sergeant, we're still eating." "I said move!" The mess hall emptied in 90 seconds. Chairs scraping, trays clattering, voices muttering confusion. Mitchell didn't move. Couldn't move. His eyes locked on Jasmine's closed fist. "That wasn't..." His voice cracked. "That can't be..." "Corporal Mitchell." William stepped between them. "You need to leave, right now." "But you saw nothing. Leave." Mitchell's face went from white to red. "She's gotta..." "I know what she's got." Williams moved closer, dropped his voice to something deadly quiet. "And if you know what's good for you, you'll forget you ever saw it. Because if that gets out before Monday's assessment is over, you won't have to worry about her. You'll have to worry about me." Martinez grabbed Mitchell's arm. "Come on, man, let's go." Mitchell let himself be pulled toward the exit, but he looked back once. At Jasmine, at her closed fist, at the secret that was already spreading like wildfire. The door closed behind them. Williams turned to Jasmine. "You okay?" She didn't answer, just stood there with blood on her lip and a seal trident burning a hole in her palm. "Petty Officer Carter, I asked if you're okay." "No." Her voice was barely a whisper. "No, I'm not okay." Williams pulled out a chair. "Sit." She sat. He sat across from her. "How long you been hiding it?" 14 months. "Since Somalia." Her eyes snapped to his. "How do you—" "I made calls after I saw you move yesterday. Took 3 tries to find someone who'd confirm. Your file's locked down tighter than the nuclear codes, but I got enough." Williams leaned forward. "Mogadishu, Al-Shabaab compound, 11 hostages. You held that position for 38 hours. Jasmine said nothing. "Brooks and Santos didn't make it out." "No, they didn't." "And you've been running ever since." She looked at her fist, at the trident she'd carried for 2 years, the one she'd hidden for 14 months. "I wasn't running. I was trying to find peace. By pretending to be something you're not? By trying to be something I'm not anymore." She opened her fist. The trident lay in her palm, silver and cold. "I made a promise to them, that if I survived, I'd stop, that I'd find another way." Williams was quiet for a moment. "That why you didn't fight back? In here, just now?" "Yes." "Even though you could have ended Mitchell before he knew what hit him?" "Especially because of that." Jasmine closed her fist again. "The easy thing would have been to break him. The hard thing was walking away." "And now?" "Now the secret's out. Mitchell saw, Martinez saw. By tonight the whole base will know." "Maybe that's not a bad thing." "It's a terrible thing. I came here to disappear, to be normal, to—" She stopped, swallowed hard. "To stop being a weapon." Williams stood. "Petty Officer, I'm going to tell you something I learned in Ramadi. You can't stop being what you are. You can only choose how you use it." He headed for the door. "Assessment's still on for Monday. Colonel Hayes expects you there. And between you and me, I think she's been waiting for this moment since you arrived." He left. Jasmine sat alone in the empty mess hall. The trident felt heavier than it ever had. 60 hours until the assessment. 60 hours until everyone knew. She should have felt afraid, exposed, panicked. Instead, she felt something else. Relief. 3 buildings away, Mitchell was already talking. "I'm telling you, she had a sealed trident. I saw it with my own eyes." Martinez and Chen sat on Mitchell's rack, watching him pace the barracks like a caged animal. "You sure?" Chen asked. "Maybe it wasn't a regular Navy badge. It wasn't admin insignia. It was a trident." Mitchell spun on them. "You know what that means? It means she's a SEAL. A female SEAL. A black female SEAL who's been pretending to be a desk sailor for 2 months while I—" He stopped. His hands were shaking again. "While you what?" Martinez asked quietly. "While I treated her like—" Mitchell sat down hard on his footlocker, put his head in his hands. "Oh God, what did I do?" "You didn't know, man. That doesn't matter. I hit her. In front of the whole mess hall. I hit a SEAL." "She didn't fight back," Chen pointed out. "If she's really a SEAL, why didn't she fight back?" "I don't know. Maybe she—" Mitchell looked up. "Maybe she was showing mercy. Maybe she could have killed me and chose not to." The barracks went silent. "Monday's assessment," Martinez said. "She's gonna be there." "I know." "You gonna be able to handle that?" Mitchell stood, walked to his wall locker, pulled out his training manual, stared at it like it held answers. "I don't have a choice. Colonel Hayes ordered my squad to participate. If I back out now,
I'm done. Career over. So what are you gonna do? Mitchell threw the manual on his rack. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna prepare. And I'm gonna prove that whatever she is, whatever she's done, I'm still a Marine. And Marines don't quit. But his voice lacked conviction, because deep down, he already knew the truth. He wasn't competing against a desk sailor anymore. He was competing against a ghost. And ghosts didn't lose. Friday morning, Jasmine reported to Colonel Hayes's office at 0700. Hayes was waiting. Admiral's stars on the wall behind her. Combat ribbons from Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan. A career built on breaking barriers. Sit, petty officer. Jasmine sat. Hayes didn't waste time. Staff Sergeant Williams called me last night, told me what happened in the mess hall. Ma'am, I can explain. You don't need to explain. I know exactly what happened. Mitchell assaulted you. Your cover got blown, and now the base is buzzing with rumors about the Navy woman who might be a SEAL. Jasmine said nothing. The question is, what do we do about it? Ma'am, I can request immediate transfer. Leave before... Before what? Before Monday's assessment? Before you have a chance to show Mitchell and every other doubter on this base what real strength looks like? Hayes leaned forward. Is that what Brooks and Santos would want? For you to run? Ma'am, that's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. But I'm asking anyway. Hayes pulled out a file, slid it across the desk. This came from Admiral Pierce this morning. Naval Special Warfare Command is watching. They know about Mitchell. They know about the assault. And they want to know what you're going to do. Jasmine opened the file. Orders. Transfer to Coronado. Female Integration Training Detachment. Instructor position. Effective immediately if she wanted it. An escape route. I could leave today, she said quietly. You could? Start the new assignment Monday. Never see Mitchell again. That's correct. Jasmine stared at the orders. What do you think I should do, ma'am? Hayes was quiet for a long moment. I think you should ask yourself why you really came to Camp Lejeune. Was it to hide? Or was it to heal? I don't understand the difference. Hiding is running from your past. Healing is making peace with it. Hayes stood, walked to the window. When I was a captain, I had a commanding officer who told me that every black woman in uniform carries two fights. The external fight against the people who doubt us, and the internal fight against the part of ourselves that believes them. She turned back to Jasmine. You've been fighting the external fight your whole career. BUD/S, Somalia, every deployment. But the internal fight? The one where you convince yourself that you deserve to be here? That fight's harder. And you can't win it by running. So I should stay. I'm not ordering you to stay. I'm asking you to consider that maybe the reason you're here, the reason Mitchell happened, the reason your cover got blown, maybe all of that is supposed to happen. Maybe this is your chance to finish the fight you started. Jasmine looked at the orders again, then at Hayes. If I stay, everyone will know what I am. Yes. Mitchell will know he assaulted a SEAL. Yes, and the assessment will become about more than just performance. It'll become about proving something. What will you be proving? Jasmine closed the file. That I'm not ashamed of what I am. That I'm not hiding anymore. That Brooks and Santos didn't die so I could spend the rest of my career pretending to be less than I am. Hayes smiled. Then I'll see you Monday morning, petty officer. Jasmine stood. Yes, ma'am. She was halfway to the door when Hayes called after her. One more thing. The trident. Wear it Monday. Jasmine touched the chain at her throat. Ma'am, that'll make it official. Make it real.
Make it impossible for anyone to claim they didn't know. Hayes' voice went soft. Your father wore his trident every day, even in Syria, even when it made him a target. He wore it because he was proud of what he was. Be proud, petty officer. You earned it. Jasmine's throat tightened. Yes, ma'am.
Outside Hayes' office, she pulled out her phone, stared at it for a full minute. Then she dialed. The phone rang 3 times before a woman answered.
Hello? Mom, it's me. Silence on the other end, then a sharp intake of breath. Jasmine? Baby, is that you? Yeah, Mom, it's me. I haven't heard from you in... Her mother's voice cracked. It's been 6 months. I know, I'm sorry, Jasmine sat down on a bench outside the admin building. I needed to call.
Something happened. Are you hurt? Are you safe?
I'm safe, but She took a breath. Someone found out what I am, what I do, and I have a choice to make. I can leave and start over somewhere else, or I can stay and face it. Her mother was quiet. Then, what would your father do? Jasmine laughed. It came out wet. He'd stay. He'd never back down from a fight. Then why are you asking me? Because I'm scared, Mom. I'm scared that if I stay, if I show people who I really am, they'll see what I see. Someone who got her teammates killed. Someone who's been pretending to be strong when she's really just broken. Baby, her mother's voice went fierce. Listen to me. Your father died doing what he loved. Brooks and Santos died doing what they loved. And they died protecting people who needed protecting. That's not weakness. That's not being broken. That's being a warrior. But I don't want to be a warrior anymore. I want to be normal. There's no such thing as normal for people like us. Your father knew that. I knew that when I married him. And you knew that when you walked into that recruiting office the day after his funeral. Jasmine wiped her eyes. So I should stay. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you this. Running doesn't heal wounds. It just makes them fester. If you want peace, baby, you have to face what's chasing you. And from what you're telling me, what's chasing you is the belief that you don't deserve to be proud of what you are. A long pause. I love you, Mom. I love you too. And Jasmine? Yeah? Your father would be so proud. Not because you're a SEAL, but because you're still fighting, even when it's hard. The call ended. Jasmine sat on that bench for another 10 minutes. Then she stood, squared her shoulders, touched the trident under her shirt. Monday was 2 days away. She wasn't running anymore. Saturday and Sunday blurred together in a haze of preparation, physical training, equipment checks, mental rehearsal. But also something else. Word had spread. The rumors had grown legs. By Saturday afternoon, half the base knew there was a female SEAL hiding among them. By Saturday night, everyone knew it was Jasmine Carter. Some people avoided her, crossed the street when they saw her coming, whispered when she walked past. Others approached, asked questions, wanted to know if it was true. Jasmine didn't confirm or deny, just kept her head down and trained. But Saturday night, someone knocked on her barracks door. She opened it. Williams stood there with 2 others, a female Marine captain named Rodriguez and a male Navy lieutenant named Chen. Got a minute? Williams asked. Sure. They came in. Rodriguez closed the door. We wanted to talk to you before Monday, Rodriguez said. She was Latina, late 30s, with the bearing of someone who'd fought her own battles. There are people on this base who are going to be watching you very carefully. Some because they respect what you've done, others because they want to see you fail. I know. Do you? Chen spoke up. He was Asian American, quiet, looked like he'd seen his share of discrimination. Because the pressure on you Monday isn't just about performance. It's about representation. Every woman who wants to serve in combat roles will be watching. Every minority who's been told they don't belong will be watching. And if you fail, then they'll say women can't hack it. Minorities can't cut it. I know the stakes, Lieutenant. We're not trying to pressure you, Williams said. We're trying to tell you that you're not alone. There are people here who've got your back, who know what it's like to have to be twice as good just to be seen as half as equal. Rodriguez nodded. I was the first female Marine in my unit to deploy to combat. Every mistake I made was proof that women didn't belong. Every success was an exception. I lived with that pressure for 15 years. And I was the first Asian officer in my command, Chen added. Had a CO who called me the diversity hire behind my back. Took me 10 years to make lieutenant because I had to prove myself every single day. Williams crossed his arms, and I was the only black staff sergeant in my battalion when I came back from Ramadi. Had Marines refused to take orders from me. Had to fight for every ounce of respect. So we know what you're up against, Rodriguez finished. And we wanted you to know that whatever happens Monday, you've already proven yourself. The trident on your chest isn't a lie. It's the truth. Don't let anyone make you forget that. Jasmine felt something crack inside her chest, something that had been holding back tears for 14 months. Thank you, she managed. They left. Jasmine lay in her rack that night, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow was Sunday. One more day of preparation. Then Monday would come, and everyone would finally see who she really was. The thought didn't scare her anymore. It felt like coming home. Sunday morning, Mitchell went to church. He wasn't particularly religious, hadn't been inside a chapel since boot camp, but he needed something, some kind of answer to the question that had been eating at him since Thursday. The chaplain was an older black man, Navy commander, with kind eyes and gentle hands. Mitchell sat in the back pew, head in his hands. Son, you look like you're carrying the weight of the world. Mitchell looked up. The chaplain had sat down beside him. I did something terrible, sir. Want to talk about it? I hit someone, a woman, a fellow service member, in front of everyone. The chaplain was quiet. Why did you do it? Because I thought she was weak. Because I thought she didn't belong. Because I was angry and she was there and I... Mitchell stopped. I wanted to feel powerful. And the easiest way to feel powerful was to hurt someone smaller than me. And now? Now I found out she's not weak at all. She's stronger than I'll ever be. She's done things I can't even imagine. And she let me hit her. She could have destroyed me, but she walked away. Mitchell's voice broke. Why would she do that? The chaplain smiled sadly. Maybe because she knows something you're still learning. What's that? That real strength isn't about dominating others. It's about controlling yourself. And the strongest people are the ones who choose mercy when they have every right to choose violence. Mitchell sat with that. I have to face her tomorrow, in an assessment, in front of everyone. What are you afraid of? That she'll humiliate me, that I'll fail. That everyone will see that I'm not the warrior I pretend to be. Or maybe you're afraid that she'll show you mercy again, and that will hurt worse than any humiliation. Mitchell looked at the chaplain. How do I fix this? You can't fix what you did. You can only decide who you're going to be going forward. Are you going to be the man who hit a woman because he was scared? Or are you going to be the man who learns from his mistake and becomes something better? I don't know how to be better. Then watch her. Learn from her. She's already teaching you. You just have to be willing to listen. Mitchell stayed in that chapel for another hour, praying for something he didn't have words for, asking for a chance to be better than he'd been. Monday morning came cold and dark. Jasmine woke at 04:30. Couldn't sleep anyway. She dressed in her uniform, laced her boots, checked her gear one final time. Then she reached for the chain. The trident hung there, silver and simple. 2 years of blood and sweat and sacrifice compressed into 2 ounces of metal. She'd hidden it for 14 months. Not anymore. She put it on, outside her shirt this time. Visible. Undeniable. Angela Rodriguez, her roommate, was already awake, sitting on her rack, watching. You're really doing this? Yeah. Everyone's going to see. I know. Angela stood, walked over, straightened the trident so it sat centered on Jasmine's chest. For what it's worth, I think you're the bravest person I've ever met. I'm not brave. I'm terrified. That's what makes you brave. Jasmine grabbed her pack, headed for the door, stopped, looked back at Angela. If this goes badly, it won't. But if it does, then you'll still be a SEAL. That doesn't change because of one assessment. That doesn't change because of what other people think. You earned that trident. No one can take it away. Jasmine nodded, left. The walk to the staging area took 10 minutes. Every step felt like a mile. The sun hadn't risen yet. The base was quiet. Just her boots on pavement and her breath in the cold air. But as she got closer, she saw lights, vehicles, people. Lots of people. The staging area should have had 40 participants and a handful of evaluators. Instead, there were at least 200 people. Marines, sailors, officers, enlisted. Word had spread. Everyone wanted to see. Jasmine walked into the light, and every single person went silent. Because there, on her chest, plain as day, was the Navy SEAL trident. No more hiding, no more pretending. Just the truth. Colonel Hayes stood at the front. Beside her, Master Gunnery Sergeant Rodriguez. Behind them, a formation of evaluators. And in the crowd of participants, standing with Martinez and Chen, was Mitchell. His face had gone white. Hayes stepped forward. Her voice carried across the silent crowd. This is the Joint Readiness Assessment, Day 3, Final Evolution. Some of you have already completed Phases 1 and 2. Others are joining us for the final test. She paused. And some of you are here because you heard a rumor. So let me make this clear. Yes, Petty Officer Jasmine Carter is a Navy SEAL. Yes, she completed BUD/S. Yes, she has deployed to combat zones. And yes, she is participating in this assessment. The crowd shifted. Murmurs. Whispers. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave now. No judgment, no consequences. Just leave. No one moved. Good. Then let's begin. Rodriguez stepped forward. Final evolution is hand-to-hand combat assessment. Full contact. One-on-one matches. Educators will pair participants based on weight class and experience. He consulted his clipboard. First match, Patterson versus Williams. The matches began. Jasmine watched, waited, felt every eye in the crowd on her trident. 30 minutes later, Rodriguez called the pairing she'd known was coming. Final match, Corporal Mitchell versus Petty Officer Carter. The crowd inhaled as one. Mitchell stepped onto the mat. Jasmine followed. They stood 3 feet apart. Mitchell couldn't stop staring at the trident. I didn't know, he said quietly, too low for the crowd to hear. I know.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I don't. He stopped.
I don't know how to do this.
Jasmine met his eyes.
Just do your best. That's all anyone can ask.
Rodriguez stepped between them. Standard combatives. Strikes, grappling, submissions. Match ends on tap-out, knockout, or evaluator stoppage. He looked at both of them. Begin. Mitchell moved first. Not a wild charge like Thursday. Controlled. Measured. A jab to test distance. Jasmine slipped it. Barely moved her head. Just enough. Mitchell threw a cross. She slipped that, too.
Fight back, he said through gritted teeth. No.
What?
I said no.
Jasmine reset her stance.
You want to hit me? Go ahead. But I'm not hitting you back.
The crowd murmured, confused, shocked. Mitchell's face twisted.
That's not fair. That's not fair? Jasmine's voice carried across the mat.
You want to talk about fair, Corporal? He lunged, grabbed for a clinch, got his hands on her shoulders. Jasmine didn't resist, didn't counter, just stood there. Let go, Rodriguez called. Carter's not engaging. Reset. Mitchell stepped back, breathing hard already, confusion and frustration warring on his face. Why won't you fight me?
Because you already lost.
Jasmine's voice was quiet, calm.
The moment you hit me in that mess hall, you lost.
And nothing that happens on this mat will change that.
Then what's the point?
The point is for you to decide what kind of man you want to be. The kind who needs to beat someone to feel strong, or the kind who can stand on a mat with someone better than him and learn something. Mitchell's hands dropped to his sides. The crowd had gone completely silent. Rodriguez stepped forward. Petty Officer Carter, if you refuse to engage, I'm going to call the match for...
I'll engage, Master Guns. Just give me a second.
She looked at Mitchell. Really looked at him. Saw past the swagger and the muscle and the hate. Saw a scared kid trying to prove something to people who didn't care. She'd been that kid once.
Corporal Mitchell, I'm going to make you an offer.
What kind of offer?
I'll fight you. Full contact, no holding back. But if I win, you do something for me.
What? You stop pretending you're something you're not. You stop bullying people to feel powerful. And you actually try to become the warrior you keep claiming to be. Mitchell swallowed. And if I win?
If you win, I'll request transfer off this base. You'll never have to see me again.
The crowd erupted. Voices shouting, people arguing. Hayes stepped forward. Petty Officer Carter, you don't have to.
Yes, ma'am, I do. With respect, this isn't about the assessment anymore.
It's about showing him what he could be if he stopped being afraid. Hayes looked at Rodriguez. Rodriguez shrugged. Your call, Petty Officer. Jasmine turned back to Mitchell, extended her hand.
Deal?
Mitchell stared at her hand for a long moment, looked at the trident on her chest, looked at his own reflection in her eyes, took her hand.
Deal.
They shook. Rodriguez reset them. On my mark. 3, 2, 1. Begin! This time, Jasmine moved. She closed the distance in a heartbeat. Mitch threw a punch. She parried it, grabbed his wrist, pulled him forward, used his momentum to take him off balance. He stumbled, caught himself, threw a wild hook. Jasmine ducked under it, stepped inside his guard. Could have thrown a dozen strikes to exposed targets, ribs, liver, jaw. Instead, she swept his leg. Mitchell went down, hard. Air exploded from his lungs. Jasmine stepped back, gave him space to stand.
You're telegraphing your punches.
Dropping your right hand when you throw the left, and your base is too narrow.
That's why I can sweep you." Mitchell got up, confusion written across his face. "You're coaching me? You want to learn or you want to lose?" He reset his stance, widened his base, kept his hands up. "Better," Jasmine said. "Now try again." They engaged. Mitchell threw a combination: jab, cross, hook. Still sloppy, but better. Jasmine blocked the first two, slipped the third, closed distance, could have clinched, could have taken him down. Instead, she tapped his exposed ribs. Light. Just enough to make the point. "You left yourself open there. After the hook, you have to recover your guard faster." "I don't understand. Why are you teaching you?" Jasmine circled. "Because that's what warriors do. We make each other better. My father taught me that. Brooks taught me that. Santos taught me that. And if you're going to wear that uniform, you need to learn it too." Mitchell's eyes went glassy. He charged. Emotion over technique. Exactly what Jasmine had been waiting for. She sidestepped, grabbed his arm as he passed, applied a standing armbar. Controlled, gentle pressure. Just enough to stop him. "Tap," she said quietly. "No." "Mitchell, tap. I don't want to hurt you." "I'm not tapping to." Jasmine applied more pressure. His elbow hyperextended. Pain shot through his arm. "Tap!" His hand slapped the mat. Once. Twice. Jasmine released immediately, stepped back. The crowd was silent. Mitchell knelt on the mat, cradling his arm. Not injured, just hurt. Just beaten. Just humiliated. Jasmine walked over, extended her hand. He didn't take it. "Get away from me." "Mitchell, I said get away!" His voice broke. "You made your point. You're better than me. Everyone saw it. You happy now?" "No." Jasmine crouched down to his level. "I'm not happy. Because you still don't understand." "Understand what?" "That I didn't beat you to prove I'm better. I beat you to show you what you could become if you stopped fighting yourself." She stood. "You've got potential, Corporal. I saw it in the casualty drill. When your hands stopped shaking and you actually focused, you did good work. That's the man you could be. But you have to choose to be him." She walked off the mat. The crowd parted for her. Martinez and Chen moved to help Mitchell up. He shook them off, stood on his own, looked across the mat at Jasmine's back, at the trident that caught the morning light, at the woman who'd just given him a gift he didn't know he needed. And something inside him broke. Not in a bad way, in a way that let the light in. Rodriguez called the crowd to attention. "Assessment complete. Evaluations will be submitted to participants' commands within 72 hours. Dismissed." People scattered, talking, arguing, processing what they'd seen. Williams approached Jasmine. "That was either the smartest thing I've ever seen or the craziest. Maybe both. You know Mitchell's never gonna live this down, right? Getting beaten and coached by a woman half his size in front of 200 witnesses? He'll live. Question is whether he learns from it." Williams smiled. "I think he will. I saw his face at the end. That wasn't hate anymore. That was something else." "What?" "Respect. Maybe even gratitude." Jasmine touched the trident at her chest. "Brooks used to say the best way to defeat an enemy is to turn them into an ally." Sounds like Brooks was a smart man. He was. Santos, too. They taught me everything I know about being a SEAL, including when to fight and when to teach. Williams nodded, started to leave, turned back. "One more thing. What you did today? That's going to ripple, not just on this base, everywhere. You showed a lot of people what real strength looks like." "I just showed them what I learned from better people than me." "That's what makes you better than you think." He left. Jasmine stood alone in the staging area. The sun was fully up now, warming the cold North Carolina morning. She felt different, lighter, like she'd put down a weight she'd been carrying for 14 months. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Again. She answered. "This is Petty Officer Carter."
Petty Officer Carter, this is Admiral Sharon Pierce, Commander Naval Special Warfare. Jasmine's heart stopped.
"Ma'am, At ease, Carter. This isn't that kind of call." Pierce's voice was warm, strong. "I've been getting reports from Camp Lejeune about a certain SEAL who's been hiding in plain sight. Thought it was time we talked." "Yes, ma'am." "Colonel Hayes sent me video from this morning's assessment. Watched the whole thing. Watched you turn a fight into a teaching moment. Watched you show more maturity and leadership in 10 minutes than most operators show in 10 years. Jasmine didn't know what to say. "I'm calling because I want to offer you a position. Female Integration Training Detachment at Coronado. You'd be training the next generation of women trying to earn their tridents, teaching them what you learned, helping them survive what you survived." "Ma'am, I don't know if I'm qualified to." "Carter, you held a compound for 38 hours against 60-1 odds. You lost 2 teammates, but saved 11 civilians. You earned a Navy Cross that's sitting in a classified file because the mission doesn't officially exist. And this morning, you took a Marine corporal who assaulted you and turned him into a teaching opportunity instead of a casualty." Pierce paused. "If you're not qualified, no one is." Jasmine closed her eyes, saw Brooks's face, Santos's smile, her father's proud eyes. "When would I start, ma'am?" 2 weeks. We've got a class of 30 women starting Phase 1. They need someone who's been where they're going, someone who can show them it's possible." "I'll do it." "Good. I'll have the orders cut today. And Carter?" "Yes, ma'am?" "Your father would be proud. Not just because you're a SEAL. Because you're the kind of SEAL who makes others better." The call ended. Jasmine sat down on a bench. Let it all sink in. 2 weeks. 2 weeks until she became an instructor, until she helped other women walk the path she'd walked, until she turned her pain into their possibility. Brooks and Santos hadn't died for nothing. Her father hadn't died for nothing. And she wasn't hiding anymore. Across the base, Mitchell sat in his barracks, alone. His arm hurt where Jasmine had applied the arm bar. His pride hurt worse. But under the pain was something else, something he couldn't quite name. He pulled out his phone, scrolled through social media, found a video someone had posted. The fight. The whole thing, from beginning to end. He watched himself get beaten, get coached, get taught. Watched Jasmine show him mercy when she could have shown him violence. The comments were brutal. "SEAL destroys bully Marine. This is what happens when you hit a real warrior. That Marine got schooled by someone half his size." But one comment caught his eye, posted by someone with a SEAL trident as their profile picture. "That's not about her being better. That's about her being a teacher. Watch it again. She's not destroying him. She's building him up. That's what we do." Mitchell watched it again, saw what he'd missed the first time. Every move Jasmine made, she explained. Every opening she exploited, she pointed out. Every mistake he made, she corrected. She wasn't fighting to win. She was fighting to teach, and he'd been too angry and embarrassed to see it. Martinez knocked on his door, came in without waiting. "You okay, man?" "No. Yeah. I don't know." Mitchell set his phone down. "I keep thinking about what she said, about choosing what kind of man I want to be." "What kind do you want to be?" "I used to think I wanted to be the strongest, the toughest, the one everyone was afraid of." Mitchell looked at his hands. "But watching her today, watching her beat me without even trying, I realized something. She's all those things. Strongest, toughest, most dangerous person I've ever met. But she's not who she is because she makes people afraid. She's who she is because she makes people better. So what are you gonna do? Mitchell stood, grabbed his training gear. I'm gonna train. Really train. Not to beat her. I'll never beat her. But to become someone who deserves to be on the same mat. You're gonna try for Raiders? Yeah, and if I make it, I'm gonna remember what she taught me today. That the point isn't to dominate people. It's to protect them. Martinez smiled. I think that's the smartest thing I've ever heard you say. Yeah, well, getting your ass kicked by a woman half your size will do that. They both laughed. For the first time in days, Mitchell felt like he could breathe. That evening, Jasmine got another call. Her mother this time. Baby, I just saw a video. Please tell me that wasn't you fighting a man twice your size. Jasmine smiled. That was me. And you beat him? I taught him. There's a difference. Her mother was quiet. Your father used to say that. He'd come home from training and I'd ask how it went. He'd say, I didn't beat anyone today. I made them better. He was right. I know he was. And baby, I'm so proud of you. Not because you won. Because you showed that young man mercy. Because you could have destroyed him and chose to build him instead. Jasmine's throat tightened. I'm coming home, Mom. In 2 weeks. Before I report to Coronado. I want to see you. I'd like that. I'd like that very much. I love you, Mom. I love you too, baby. And I'm sorry I pushed you away. I was scared of losing you like I lost your father. But I understand now. You're not going to die being a coward. If you die, you'll die being exactly who you're supposed to be. The call ended. Jasmine lay on her rack, closed her eyes. For the first time in 14 months, when she saw Brooks and Santos behind her eyelids, they were smiling. We're proud of you, Jazz. Brooks's voice echoed in her memory. You did good. Santos's voice joined his. You kept your promise. You found another way. But you didn't stop being a warrior. You just became a better kind. Jasmine touched the trident at her chest. I'm not done yet, she whispered. Not by a long shot. The next morning, Colonel Hayes called Jasmine to her office one final time. Congratulations, Petty Officer. Or should I say, congratulations, Lieutenant. Jasmine blinked. Ma'am? Hayes slid a sheet across the desk. Promotion orders. Effective immediately. Admiral Pierce pushed it through. Said anyone who can do what you did yesterday deserves to wear the rank she's about to carry. I don't know what to say. Say you'll keep doing what you did yesterday. Keep teaching. Keep building. Keep showing the next generation what's possible. Hayes stood, extended her hand. It's been an honor, Lieutenant Carter. Jasmine shook it. The honor was mine, ma'am. One more thing. Mitchell came to see me this morning. He did. Requested permission to attempt Marine Raider selection. Said he wanted to become the warrior he pretended to be. I approved it. Jasmine felt something warm in her chest. Will he make it? I don't know. Raider selection has a 90% attrition rate. But I do know that 3 days ago he wouldn't have tried. Today he's willing to fail trying to be better. That's growth. That's all any of us can do. Hayes smiled. Dismissed, Lieutenant. Jasmine left the office, walked across the base one last time as Jasmine Carter, the woman who'd been hiding. Tomorrow she'd start being Jasmine Carter, the woman who'd stopped running. The woman who taught instead of destroyed. The woman her father, Brooks, and Santos had died believing she could be. 2 weeks later, she stood in front of 30 women at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado. They ranged from 19 to 28. Different backgrounds, different races, different reasons for being there. But they all wanted the same thing: to earn the trident. "My name is Lieutenant Jasmine Carter," she began. "Some of you saw the video from Camp Lejeune. Some of you heard the stories.
Let me tell you what's true and what's not."
She pulled the trident from beneath her shirt, held it up. "This is real. I earned it. BUD/S Class 351. Deployed to Somalia with SEAL Team 8. Lost 2 teammates. Killed 17 enemy combatants. Saved 11 civilians. That's all true." She tucked it back. "But here's what's not true. I'm not special. I'm not superhuman. I'm not blessed with some gift that makes me better than you. Everything I've accomplished, I accomplished through training, discipline, and refusing to quit when everything screamed at me to give up." She walked down the line, made eye contact with each woman. "You're going to want to quit. Maybe tomorrow, maybe during Hell Week, maybe during the first real training evolution. And when that moment comes, you'll have a choice. You can give in to the voice that says you're not good enough, or you can remember why you're here." A hand raised. Young woman, black, 19 years old. Name tag read Williams. "Ma'am, I'm here because of you. I saw that video. Saw you take down a man twice your size. Saw you show him mercy. I've been told my whole life what I can't do because I'm black, because I'm a woman, because I'm too small. But you proved all that was a lie." Jasmine felt her throat tighten. "What's your name?" "Recruit Williams, ma'am. Keisha Williams." "Keisha, I'm going to tell you something important. That video? That wasn't about me being better than him. That was about me showing him what he could become. And that's what I'm going to do for all of you. I'm not here to break you. I'm here to build you. But you have to be willing to be built." She pulled the trident out again. "This weighs 2 ounces. It's worth nothing at a pawn shop. But it represents the willingness to suffer more than you thought possible for people you may never meet. It represents sacrifice, honor, brotherhood. And most importantly, it represents the choice to be something more than what the world expects." She looked at each of them. "Your training starts tomorrow at 0400. Some of you won't make it. That's okay. But for those who do, you'll learn what I learned. That the strongest warriors aren't the ones who win the most fights. They're the ones who create the most warriors." The women sat in silence, processing, understanding. Jasmine felt Brooks and Santos standing beside her, felt her father's hand on her shoulder. "Get some rest," she said. "Tomorrow, we begin." That night, lying in her new quarters at Coronado, Jasmine pulled out her phone, found Mitchell's number. She'd gotten it from Williams before she left Lejeune. Sent a text. "Heard you're trying for Raiders. Good luck. Remember what I taught you." The reply came 3 minutes later. "Thank you for everything. You didn't have to show me mercy, but you did. I won't forget it." Another message followed. "I'm not the man I was 2 weeks ago. Still not the man I want to be. But I'm trying. That's because of you." Jasmine typed back. "That's not because of me. That's because of you choosing to be better. Keep choosing that. Every day." "I will. And Lieutenant, if I make it through Raiders, I'm going to pay forward what you taught me. I'm going to show other Marines what you showed me. That's all I ask." The conversation ended. Jasmine set her phone down, looked at the ceiling. 30 women out there right now, terrified of what tomorrow would bring, wondering if they could do this, wondering if they were good enough. She'd make sure they were, not by destroying them, by building them, The way Brooks had built her. The way Santos had built her. The way her father had built her from the day she could walk. Her phone buzzed one more time. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Then something told her to. "This is Lieutenant Carter."
Lieutenant Carter, this is Keisha Williams. I hope it's okay that I'm calling. I got your number from the admin office.
"It's fine, Keisha. What's up?"
The young woman's voice cracked. I'm scared. I've wanted this my whole life, but now that I'm here, now that it's real, I'm terrified I'm going to fail, that I'm going to prove everyone right who said I couldn't do this.
Jasmine sat up.
You want to know a secret? Yes, ma'am. I was terrified too.
First day of BUD/S, I threw up before we even started. Spent the whole first week convinced I'd made a mistake, that I wasn't good enough, that my father had been special and I was just ordinary.
What changed?
I realized that being scared and being incapable aren't the same thing. Fear is just information. It tells you that what you're doing matters, that the stakes are real. What you do with that fear determines everything. Keisha was quiet.
Tomorrow's going to be hard, Jasmine continued. Harder than anything you've done before. And the day after will be harder than that. But here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving. One foot in front of the other. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. Can you do that? I think so. Then that's all I'm asking. Don't worry about Hell Week. Don't worry about graduation. Just worry about the next moment. And then the next one.
And before you know it, you'll be standing where I'm standing, teaching the next generation what someone taught you.
Thank you, ma'am. I needed to hear that.
Get some sleep, Keisha. See you at 0400. The call ended. Jasmine lay back down, closed her eyes, felt Brooks and Santos settle in beside her one more time. You ready for this? Brooks asked.
No, but I'm doing it anyway.
Santos laughed.
That's the spirit, Jazz. That's always been the spirit. I just want to do right by them. By the ones who come after.
You will, her father's voice joined them.
Because you understand something most people never learn.
That the job of a warrior isn't to win. It's to make sure the next warrior is ready when their time comes. Jasmine touched the trident at her chest one more time.
I'm ready,
she whispered. And for the first time since Somalia, she meant it. Tomorrow, 30 women would begin the journey she'd walked. Some would fail. Some would quit. But some would make it. And those who made it would carry forward what she'd learned. That strength isn't about domination, it's about elevation. That warriors don't just destroy, they build. And that the hardest battles aren't fought with fists or bullets, they're fought with the choice to be better than you were yesterday. Jasmine Carter, Lieutenant, Navy SEAL, instructor, warrior, teacher, had finally come home. Not to a place, to a purpose, and she was just getting started. 400 hours came fast. Jasmine stood outside the barracks, watching 30 women file out in the darkness. Some looked determined, others looked terrified. All of them looked young, too young to know what they were getting into. But then again, she'd been young too. "Form up," she called. Her voice cut through the pre-dawn silence. 3 ranks, move! They scrambled into formation, sloppy, uncoordinated. Exactly what she expected. Jasmine walked the ranks, made eye contact with each woman. Today starts the preparatory phase. 4 weeks of physical and mental conditioning before you even attempt BUD/S selection. Some of you think you're ready. You're not. Some of you think you know what hard is. You don't. And some of you think that because I'm a woman, because I made it, that somehow makes this easier for you. She stopped in front of Keisha Williams. It doesn't. If anything, it makes it harder.
Because now you have no excuses. If I can do it, you can do it. But only if you're willing to pay the price. Yes, ma'am, they answered in unison. We're going to run now. 5 miles. Combat boots. Formation. Anyone falls out gets documented. Anyone quits gets sent home. Questions? Silence. Then let's go. They ran. By mile 2, 3 women had fallen out. Jasmine circled back, found them bent over, gasping. Get up. I can't, ma'am. Yes, you can. The question is whether you will. My legs won't move. Jasmine crouched down, looked the woman in the eyes. Young, white, 19. Name tag said Morrison. Morrison, you know what I did my first day of BUD/S? No, ma'am. I threw up. Mile 3 of the first run. Emptied my stomach all over my boots. Instructors stood over me laughing. Told me to go home. Told me I didn't belong. You know what I did? Morrison shook her head. I got up, wiped my mouth, kept running. Because the only way to fail is to quit. Everything else is just pain. And pain is temporary. She stood, extended her hand. Morrison stared at it, then took it. Jasmine pulled her up. Now run. If you throw up, but you keep moving. Morrison ran, made it another half mile before she collapsed again. Jasmine documented it, sent her to medical. But the woman had tried. That counted for something. By mile 5, 24 women remain. Jasmine called them to a halt outside the training facility. 6 quit. 6 more than I expected this early. Tomorrow it'll be harder. The day after, harder still. By the end of week 1, I expect half of you to be gone. That's not me being cruel. That's me being realistic. She walked the formation again. But for those who stay, you're going to learn what I learned. That your body can do things your mind says are impossible. The pain is just a signal, not a stop sign, and that the only person who can defeat you is you. A hand raised. Latina woman, mid-20s. Name tag read Garcia. Ma'am, can I ask a question? Go ahead. In that video from Camp Lejeune, why didn't you fight back at first? Why did you let that Marine keep coming at you? Jasmine was quiet for a moment. Because I wanted him to understand something. That the goal isn't to dominate, it's to educate. Every fight you walk away from is a fight you've already won. Every enemy you turn into a student is one less enemy in the world. But what if he hadn't learned? What if he'd kept coming? Then I would have ended it. There's a difference between showing mercy and being weak. Mercy is a choice you make from a position of strength. Weakness is having no choice at all. Garcia nodded slowly. Any other questions? Keisha Williams raised her hand. Ma'am, did you ever think about quitting? During BUD/S? Every single day. The formation shifted, surprised. Every day I woke up hurting. Every day I wondered if I was good enough. Every day I had instructors screaming that I didn't belong, that I was taking a spot from a man who deserved it more. Jasmine touched the trident at her chest. But every day I also thought about my father, about Brooks and Santos, about every woman who tried and failed before me, and I decided that quitting would dishonor all of them. She paused. You're going to have that moment, that decision point, when your body is screaming and your mind is broken and every cell in you wants to ring the bell. And in that moment, you'll have to decide what matters more, the pain you're feeling or the purpose that brought you here. What if the pain wins? Keisha asked quietly.
you go home with your head held high, because trying and failing is better than never trying at all. But if the purpose wins, then you become something most people will never understand. You become a warrior.
The formation was silent. Jasmine checked her watch. 05:15.
You've got 45 minutes to shower, eat, and be back here for strength training. Move. They scattered. Jasmine stayed behind, pulled out her phone. A text from Mitchell had come in during the run. Day 3 of Raider prep. Already want to quit. But I keep hearing your voice. Get bitter or get better. Choosing better. Barely. Jasmine smiled. Typed back. Barely counts. Keep going.
His response came immediately.
I keep thinking about that fight. How you could have destroyed me but didn't. I'm trying to pay that forward. Guy in my prep class was struggling with a ruck march yesterday. Everyone was laughing at him. I stayed back. Helped him finish. Felt good. That's what warriors do. Never understood that before. Thought being a warrior meant being the strongest. Now I'm learning it means making others strong. You're learning fast. Good teacher.
Jasmine put her phone away, looked at the sky. Sun starting to rise over Coronado. Somewhere out there, Mitchell was becoming the man he should have been all along. Somewhere out there, 30 women were about to discover what they were made of. And somewhere in her memory, Brooks and Santos were smiling. Week 1 eliminated 12 more women. Heat injuries, stress fractures, voluntary withdrawals. Jasmine documented each one, made sure they left with dignity, but she also pushed the remaining 12 harder than they'd ever been pushed. Cold water immersion, sleep deprivation, continuous physical training. Not to break them, to show them they were harder to break than they thought. Friday afternoon, she called them together for the final evolution of Week 1, surf torture. They stood in the Pacific Ocean in formation, water temperature 60 degrees, wind cutting through their wet uniforms like knives. "Lock arms," Jasmine ordered from the beach.
Hold formation. They locked arms. Wave after wave crashed over them, cold sapping their strength, sapping their will. 10 minutes in, Garcia started shivering uncontrollably. Permission to get out, ma'am. Denied. Hold formation. I can't feel my legs. Good. Now you know what hypothermia feels like. Hold formation. 15 minutes. Keisha Williams was crying. Not from weakness, from the sheer, overwhelming cold.
"Why are we doing this, ma'am?"
Because in Somalia, I spent 6 hours in a crawl space with no heat while enemy fighters searched the building. I thought I was going to die from hypothermia before they found me. This is training you for that moment, for when the mission requires you to suffer, and there's no way out except through. 20 minutes. One woman broke formation, stumbled toward shore. Jasmine met her at the waterline. What's your name? Recruit Patterson, ma'am.
"Patterson, why are you quitting?"
I'm not quitting. I'm freezing to death. No, you're uncomfortable. There's a difference. Freezing to death takes hours. You've been in for 20 minutes. I can't go back in there. Jasmine stepped closer. You can. The question is whether you're willing to be uncomfortable for a purpose, because that's what special operations is, being more uncomfortable than the enemy, outlasting them, outthinking them, outsuffering them.
Patterson looked at the ocean, at the 11 women still in formation, at Jasmine.
I can't. Okay, go get warm, but remember this moment, because someday you're going to wonder if you could have made it, and you'll never know.
Patterson walked away. Jasmine turned back to the ocean.
Everyone out! Form up on the beach! 11 women stumbled out of the water, shaking, blue-lipped, teeth chattering so hard they couldn't speak. That was the worst 20 minutes of your lives, Jasmine said. Tomorrow will be worse. Sunday will be worse than that. And next week we'll do it again. Anyone want to quit now? No hands. Good. Because you just proved something. You can endure more than you think. You can suffer for a purpose. And you can hold formation when everything in you wants to break. She dismissed them, watched them limp toward the barracks. 11 left. 11 women who might actually make it.
That night, Jasmine got a call from Admiral Pierce. How's the class?
11 left out of 30. Better than I expected.
I heard about the surf torture. 20 minutes for week 1? That's aggressive.
Somalia was aggressive, ma'am. I'm just preparing them.
Pierce was quiet. You're doing good work, Jasmine. Better than I hoped. Keep it up.
Yes, ma'am.
One more thing. We're getting requests. Other branches want to send candidates. Army, Air Force, Marines. This is becoming bigger than just Navy.
How many candidates?
Next class? 50, maybe 60. Jasmine's breath caught.
Ma'am, I can't train 60 people alone.
You won't be alone. I'm assigning you 2 assistant instructors, both former SEALs, both men. That going to be a problem?
Depends on the men.
One of them specifically requested you, said he wanted to learn from the best.
Who?
Does the name Brooks mean anything to you? Jasmine's heart stopped. Ma'am, Deshaun Brooks is dead, I know. This is his younger brother, Marcus Brooks, just finished BUD/S 6 months ago. Heard about you. Wants to help train the next generation, says his brother would have wanted it. Jasmine sat down hard.
I didn't know Deshaun had a brother. Neither did I until Marcus called me. Kid's 24, green, but he's got the heart. And he specifically said he wants to honor his brother by teaching women the way Deshaun taught you.
When does he arrive?
Monday. Meet him with an open mind. He's not Deshaun, but he's got the same blood.
The call ended. Jasmine stared at her phone.
Marcus Brooks, Deshaun's little brother, coming to help her train.
She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So she did both. Monday morning, Marcus Brooks arrived at Coronado. Jasmine waited outside the admin building, watched him get out of a taxi. He looked like Deshaun. Same build, same walk, same easy smile. But younger. Unscarred by Somalia. Lieutenant Carter? He approached with his hand extended. That's me. They shook. His grip was firm, confident. I appreciate you letting me come help, ma'am. I know this is your program.
Admiral Pierce assigned you. I didn't have much choice.
Marcus's smile faded. Right. Of course. He took a breath. My brother talked about you all the time. Called you Jazz. Said you were the best operator he'd ever seen. When I heard you were training women, I knew I had to be part of it. Jasmine's throat tightened.
Deshaun was a good man. The best.
He died covering your extraction.
Yes.
And you've been carrying that ever since. It wasn't a question. Jasmine didn't answer. Marcus stepped closer, lowered his voice. Ma'am, my brother made a choice. He chose to stay behind because that's what SEALs do. That's what warriors do. And if he could see you now, training the next generation, turning his death into something that builds people up instead of tears them down, he'd be proud.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do. Because he told me. 3 days before Somalia, we were on the phone and he said, Marcus, if anything happens to me, you make sure Jazz knows it wasn't her fault. You make sure she keeps going. Because she's going to change this community, and I need her to believe that. Jasmine's vision blurred. He said that? Word for word. And ma'am,
You are changing the community. You're doing exactly what he believed you would. So please, let me help. Let me honor my brother by helping you build what he died protecting." Jasmine wiped her eyes. "Okay, but you need to understand something. I'm not going easy on these women because they're women. I'm going to push them harder than anyone's ever pushed them. And I need to know you're going to do the same." "I wouldn't be here if I wanted it easy."
Good. Class starts at 0400 tomorrow. You'll be running conditioning with them, leading PT, teaching basic tactics. Can you handle that?
"Yes, ma'am."
And Marcus?
"Ma'am?"
Thank you for coming, for honoring Deshawn this way. It means more than you know.
He smiled. Deshawn's smile. He'd have done the same for me.
Week 2 brought new challenges. Marcus integrated into the training seamlessly. The women respected him, listened to him, learned from him.
But they also pushed back when they disagreed. Wednesday morning, during a tactical movement exercise, Keisha Williams questioned his route planning.
"Sir, that approach leaves us exposed for 300 meters. If this were real, we'd get cut down."
Marcus bristled. "Are you questioning my tactics, recruit?"
"No, sir. I'm questioning the route. The tactics are sound. The execution is risky."
Jasmine watched from 20 meters away, didn't intervene. Marcus's jaw clenched. "I've been doing this for 6 months. I think I know 6 months means you're still new, sir. No disrespect, but Lieutenant Carter's been doing this for years, in actual combat. I'm just applying what she taught us. Multiple approach routes, minimize exposure, use terrain for concealment." Marcus looked at Jasmine. She raised an eyebrow. He looked back at Keisha. "You're right. I was thinking about speed, not security. What would you suggest?" Keisha pulled out her map, showed him an alternate route, longer but safer. Marcus studied it, nodded. "That's better. Good catch, Williams." "Thank you, sir." After the evolution, Marcus approached Jasmine. "I almost screwed that up."
"But you didn't. You listened. That's harder than most people think."
Deshawn used to say the best leaders are the ones who can admit when they're wrong.
He was right.
Marcus was quiet for a moment. "These women are good, ma'am. Better than I expected. Williams especially. She's got the instincts." "She does. Question is whether she's got the endurance for Hell Week." "You think she'll make it?" "I think she'll try. That's all anyone can do." Week 3 brought the moment Jasmine had been dreading. Cold water training, extended immersion, simulated drowning. The thing that broke more candidates than anything else. She gathered the 11 remaining women on the beach. "Today we're going into the water. You'll be submerged for intervals, spelled under until you think you're drowning. This is designed to trigger panic, to make you quit. Because in combat, if you panic, you die. So we're going to teach your body not to panic." Garcia raised her hand. "Ma'am, how long will we be under?" "Long enough to scare you, not long enough to hurt you."
"That's not very specific."
"It's not supposed to be. Part of the test is not knowing, not being able to plan, just having to endure." They went into the water. Jasmine and Marcus worked together, taking turns holding women under, watching for signs of real distress versus panic. Garcia went first, lasted 40 seconds before she thrashed. They pulled her up.
"I can't do this,"
she gasped. "Yes, you can. Try again." Second attempt, 50 seconds. Third attempt, 60. By the 5th attempt, she lasted 90 seconds, still scared but controlled. Keisha went last. Jasmine held her under personally. 30 seconds. Keisha's eyes went wide. 45 seconds. She started to struggle. 60 seconds. Full panic. Jasmine pulled her up.
"I'm sorry, ma'am. I couldn't." "Don't apologize. Try again." "I can't. I'm too scared."
Jasmine grabbed Keisha's shoulders.
"Listen to me. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is information. It tells you the stakes are real. What you do with that fear determines everything. So try again. And this time, don't fight the fear. Accept it. Let it wash over you. And then keep going anyway. Keisha nodded, took 3 deep breaths, went under again. This time, Jasmine felt her relax after 30 seconds, felt her stop fighting. 45 seconds, still calm. 60 seconds, starting to need air but not panicking. 75 seconds, Jasmine pulled her up. Keisha gasped, coughed, smiled. I did it. Yeah, you did. How'd it feel? Terrifying, but also like I can do anything. That's the point. By the end of week 3, 10 women remained. 1 had quit after the drowning drill, told Jasmine she'd rather face bullets than water. Jasmine understood. Everyone had their breaking point. But the 10 who remained were different now. Harder, more confident. They'd survived things they didn't think they could survive, and they were starting to believe. Friday night, Jasmine got a text from Mitchell. Made it through Raider prep. Selection starts Monday. Scared out of my mind. But ready. She typed back, You've got this. Remember what you learned. Get better, not bitter. His response? Always. And ma'am, thank you for seeing something in me I didn't see in myself. Jasmine set her phone down, looked at the 10 women sleeping in the barracks across the compound. They didn't know it yet, but they were ready for Hell Week. 5.5 days of continuous training, 4 hours of total sleep, physical and mental torture designed to break anyone who wasn't absolutely committed. Most wouldn't make it. But some would, and those who did would join a legacy that stretched back through Jasmine, through Brooks and Santos, through her father, through every SEAL who'd ever earned the trident. Sunday night, Jasmine gathered the 10 women one final time before Hell Week. Tomorrow changes everything. For the next 5.5 days, you will be more uncomfortable than you've ever been. You will be colder, wetter, more exhausted, and more broken than you thought possible. And at some point, each of you will decide whether you're willing to pay the price. She walked the line. I can't tell you whether to quit or stay. That's between you and whatever brought you here. But I can tell you this. Every woman who's ever quit Hell Week regrets it. Not because they failed, but because they never got to find out who they would have become if they'd stayed. Keisha raised her hand. Ma'am, what got you through Hell Week? Jasmine pulled out her phone, showed them a photo. Her father in his SEAL uniform, smiling, proud. This. Every time I wanted to quit, I looked at this photo and asked myself if I was willing to dishonor his memory. The answer was always no. She put the phone away. Find your reason. Hold on to it. And when everything else fails, when your body is broken and your mind is gone, let that reason carry you through. Garcia spoke up. What if our reason isn't enough? Then you'll know. And you'll leave with no regrets because you'll have given everything you had. The women nodded. Get some sleep, Jasmine said. See you at 0400. And remember, you're not just doing this for yourselves. You're doing it for every woman who'll come after you. Make them proud. She dismissed them, watched them walk back to the barracks. 10 women. 10 chances to change history. 10 opportunities to prove that the trident belonged to anyone willing to earn it. Marcus approached from the darkness. Think they're ready? No, but neither was I. Neither was Deshawn. Nobody's ever ready for Hell Week. You just have to be willing. How many you think will make it? Jasmine looked at the stars. 3, maybe 4. That's not many. It's enough. Because those 3 or 4 will become instructors someday. They'll train the next generation, and that generation will train the one after. That's how legacies are built. One person at a time. One choice at a time. Marcus was quiet. Deshawn would have loved this. Seeing you teach, seeing these women try. He's here. Can't you feel it? Yeah, I can. They stood in silence. Tomorrow, Hell Week would begin. Tomorrow, 10 women would face the hardest test of their lives. Tomorrow, everything would change. But tonight, Jasmine touched the trident at her chest one more time, felt Brooks and Santos standing beside her, felt her father's hand on her shoulder, and whispered into the darkness. This is for you, all of you. Watch over them. Help them find what I found. Help them become what you helped me become. The wind carried her words away, but somewhere she knew they were listening. And tomorrow, when Hell Week started, she wouldn't be teaching alone. She'd have every SEAL who'd ever lived standing with her, every warrior who'd ever chosen to build instead of destroy. Every person who'd ever believed that the strongest thing you can do is make someone else strong. That was the legacy. That was the purpose. That was why Deshawn Brooks and Maria Santos and Jerome Carter had died, so that women like Keisha Williams and Garcia and the 8 others could stand where Jasmine stood, and someday teach what Jasmine taught. 400 hours came again. But this time, it came with the weight of history behind it. Hell Week started with a whistle at 0400 sharp. 10 women hit the surf within seconds. Water temperature, 58 degrees, waves crashing over their heads. The shock drove the air from their lungs. "Lock arms!" Jasmine shouted from the beach. "Hold formation!" They locked arms, formed a wall against the ocean. The first hour was pure cold. Shivering, teeth chattering, bodies screaming to get out. Garcia broke first, stumbled toward shore at 05:15. "I can't feel my feet, ma'am." "Get back in formation." "Ma'am, I'm serious. I can't." "Neither could I in Somalia."
Get back in the water or ring the bell. Choose. Garcia looked at the bell hanging beside the instructor's station. 3 rings and you were done. 3 rings and you could be warm. She walked toward it. Keisha called out from the surf. "Garcia, don't you dare! We need you!" Garcia stopped, hand inches from the rope.
"We're a team,"
Keisha's voice cracked.
You quit on all of us."
Garcia's hand trembled, then dropped. She turned, ran back into the ocean, locked arms with the others. Jasmine made a note on her clipboard. Garcia had just passed her first test.
Hour 3 brought the log PT. 200-pound telephone poles carried by 6-woman teams over their heads for 30 minutes straight. Arms burning, shoulders screaming. No breaks. One team dropped their log at minute 20. All 6 women collapsed. Marcus stepped over them. "Get up. 30 seconds or you're out." They got up, lifted the log, finished.
Hour 6 brought the first real casualty. A woman named Thompson hyperextillated during underwater training. Medical pulled her out, sent her to the hospital. 9 remained. Hour 12 brought hallucinations, sleep deprivation starting to take hold, women seeing things that weren't there, hearing voices. Keisha swore she saw her brother standing on the beach, called out to him. He wasn't there.
"Stay with me, Williams," Jasmine said, getting in her face. "Eyes on me, not on ghosts. Ma'am, I saw him. He was right there." Your mind is playing tricks. Happens to everyone. Ignore it. Focus on the next task. Hour 18, 2 more quit. Voluntary withdrawals. Too cold, too tired, too broken. 7 remained. Day 2 started with a bang. Literally, explosives and blank fire at 0400 to wake them from the 2 hours of sleep they'd been allowed. Women scrambled out of their racks, disoriented and terrified. "Gear up," Marcus shouted. "Full kit."
You've got 3 minutes.
They moved like zombies, hands shaking, fingers not working right. But they moved. The run that followed was 12 miles, full combat load, before breakfast. Garcia vomited at mile 7, kept running. Another woman, Jenkins, collapsed at mile 10. Medical checked her. Dehydration, IV fluids, done. 6 remained. Breakfast was cold MREs eaten standing in formation while instructors shouted questions. "Williams, what's the maximum effective range of an M4? Keisha's brain was soup. I don't... 500 meters. How do you not know that? I'm sorry, sir. Sorry doesn't cut it in combat. Drop and give me 50. She dropped. Started pushing, arms shaking so badly she could barely complete one. That's pathetic. Faster! Jasmine watched, said nothing. This was Marcus's call. At push-up 30, Keisha collapsed, face in the dirt. "Get up, recruit!" She didn't move. Marcus looked at Jasmine. She shook her head once. Let her be. "Williams, you've got 10 seconds to get up, or you're done." Keisha pushed herself to her hands and knees. "I'm not quitting." "Then finish the push-ups." She finished. Took 3 minutes, but she finished. Marcus pulled her up. "That's what I wanted to see. Heart. You've got more heart than strength right now, but heart's what keeps you alive." Day 3 brought the rock portage, carrying a 200-pound boulder from the ocean to the top of a sand dune, as a team, in the dark. 6 women, 1 boulder, 200 yards of soft sand. They made it 50 yards before someone fell. The boulder rolled back down. "Again," Jasmine called. "From the start!" They tried again, made it 70 yards, fell. Boulder rolled back. Again! 4 attempts, 4 failures. On the 5th attempt, Keisha screamed, "We're doing this together. On 3, we push. 1, 2, 3. They pushed as one, coordinated, connected. Made it to the top, collapsed in a heap. Jasmine gave them 2 minutes to rest, then, "Back down, do it again." "Ma'am, I know what you just did. Do it again. You'll do it 10 times total. 9 more to go." The sound that came from Garcia wasn't quite human. Rage and exhaustion and determination mixed into something primal. They did it 9 more times. By the end, they weren't 6 individuals. They were one organism, moving together, breathing together, suffering together. That was the point. Day 4 brought the psychological warfare. Instructors whispering in their ears during exercises. "You know you're not good enough. Your family thinks you're crazy for trying this. You could be warm right now. Safe. All you have to do is ring the bell." 2 women broke, walked to the bell, rang it 3 times each. 4 remained. Keisha Williams, Garcia, a woman named Chen, and a quiet blonde named Morrison, who never spoke but never quit. 4 women who'd become sisters in suffering. Day 5 brought the moment Jasmine had been waiting for, the breaking point. The place where the body had nothing left and only the mind could carry them. 2-mile ocean swim. In the dark. In 58-degree water. With no end time. They could take as long as they needed. But they had to finish. Keisha made it a 1/4 mile before her arms stopped working. She started to sink. Garcia grabbed her. "I got you. Keep kicking." "I can't." Yes, you can. Kick! They swam together, Garcia pulling Keisha when her arms gave out, Keisha pulling Garcia when her legs cramped. Morrison and Chen swam side by side, not speaking, just existing in shared misery. 1 hour became 2. 2 became 3. At hour 4, Chen started crying. I can't see the shore. Are we even moving? We're moving, Morrison said. First words she'd spoken in 2 days. I can see the lights. Half mile, keep going. They kept going. At hour 5 and 12 minutes, 4 women dragged themselves onto the beach. Hypothermic, exhausted, broken, but alive. Jasmine was waiting. Congratulations, you just completed the hardest evolution of Hell Week. 1 more day. 24 hours. Can you make it? Keisha looked up from the sand, eyes hollow. Yes, ma'am. Garcia? Yes, ma'am. Chen? Yes, ma'am. Morrison? Morrison nodded, too tired for words. Then get warm, get food. You've got 4 hours of sleep. Then we finish this. Day 6 started with a ceremony Jasmine had designed herself. She gathered the 4 women on the beach at sunrise, handed each of them a smooth stone. This stone represents everyone who doubted you, everyone who said you couldn't do this, everyone who told you women don't belong in special operations. I want you to throw that stone into the ocean. Let it sink. Let all that doubt sink with it. One by one they threw their stones. Watch them disappear into the waves. Now pick up a new stone. They did. This stone represents everyone who believed in you, your families, your friends, the women who came before you, the women who'll come after you. Carry this stone through the final evolution, and when you finish, you keep it, to remind you that you didn't do this alone. Keisha clutched her stone, started crying. Thank you, ma'am. Don't thank me yet. We've still got 12 hours. Those 12 hours were everything Hell Week had been compressed into half a day. Running, swimming, lifting, crawling, fighting. At hour 8, Chen's knee gave out. Medical diagnosed a stress fracture. She was done. 3 remained. At hour 10, Morrison collapsed from heat exhaustion. She'd pushed through hypothermia only to fall to the California sun. Medical pulled her. 2 remained. Keisha Williams and Garcia. 2 women who'd started as strangers and become something more. Something forged in cold water and sand and suffering. The final evolution was simple. A 4-mile run. Together. No separation. They ran side by side, arms linked. When Keisha's legs gave out at mile 3, Garcia held her up. When Garcia stumbled at mile 3.5, Keisha pulled her forward. They crossed the finish line together at 12:15 on day 6. Hell Week was over. Jasmine was waiting with Marcus and the other instructors. Congratulations! You've completed Hell Week. 2 out of 10. 20% success rate. That's higher than most male classes. Keisha and Garcia collapsed, couldn't stand, couldn't speak, could barely breathe. You've earned the next phase of training, Jasmine continued. But Hell Week is just the beginning. BUD/S goes on for 6 more months. And not everyone who passes Hell Week gets their trident. Understood? They nodded. Good. You've got 1 week of recovery. Then we start dive phase. Dismissed. Marcus helped them to their feet, walked them to medical. Jasmine stayed on the beach, alone with her thoughts. 2 women had made it. 2 out of 30 who'd started 4 weeks ago. Morrison and Chen would heal and try again. The others were done. But Keisha and Garcia had proven something. They'd proven it was possible. Her phone buzzed. Mitchell.
Day 6 of Raider selection.
3 of us left out of 45. I think I'm gonna make it, ma'am. I think I'm actually gonna make it. Jasmine smiled, typed back, I never doubted it. Finish strong. His response came immediately. Because of you. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing because you showed me who I could be. I won't forget that. She put her phone away, looked at the ocean, at the place where 30 women had started and 2 had finished. This was the legacy. Not the fighting, not the killing. Not the missions that didn't exist on paper. This. Building people up, showing them what they could become, turning her pain into their possibility. Brooks and Santos hadn't died for nothing. Her father hadn't died for nothing. They'd died so that moments like this could happen. 6 months later, Jasmine stood in a ceremony room at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado. Keisha Williams and Garcia stood in front of her in their dress uniforms, families behind them, admirals and generals watching. Admiral Pierce stepped forward. Today we pin the SEAL Trident on 2 extraordinary women. They've completed Bud/S. They've survived Hell Week, dive phase, and land warfare. They've proven themselves in every evolution, and they've earned their place among the most elite warriors in the world. She turned to Jasmine. Lieutenant Carter, you have the honor. Jasmine stepped forward, held the first trident, positioned it on Keisha's chest. Keisha Williams, by the authority vested in me, I award you the Naval Special Warfare Insignia. You are now a Navy SEAL. Wear it with pride, teach others what you've learned, and never forget that you didn't do this alone. She pinned it, stepped back. Keisha was crying. Her mother was crying. The entire room was silent except for the sound of 2 women who'd fought their way into history. Jasmine moved to Garcia. Garcia, same words, same honor, same responsibility. You're a SEAL now. Make it mean something. She pinned the second trident. The room erupted in applause. But Jasmine's eyes were on the back of the room, where 3 empty chairs sat with photos on them. Her father, Brooks, Santos. They were here, watching, proud. After the ceremony, Keisha pulled Jasmine aside. Ma'am, I have something for you. She handed Jasmine a stone, smooth, ocean-worn. That's the stone you gave me before the final day of Hell Week, the one representing everyone who believed in me. I carried it through every evolution, through dive phase, through land warfare, through everything. And now I want you to have it back. Why? Because you're the one who believed when no one else did. You're the reason I'm standing here, and I want you to carry it when you train the next class, so they know that someone believed in them too. Jasmine took the stone, felt its weight, its history. Thank you, Keisha. This means everything. No, ma'am. Thank you. For seeing something in me I didn't see. For pushing me when I wanted to quit. For showing me that the strongest thing I could be was myself. Garcia joined them. We're not done, ma'am. Keisha and I talked. When we're ready, when we've got some deployments under our belts, we want to come back. We want to help you train. We want to pay forward what you gave us. You don't have to. Yes, we do, Keisha interrupted. Because that's what warriors do. They build the next generation. You taught us that. Jasmine pulled them both into a hug. These women who'd been strangers, who'd become sisters, who'd become SEALs. I'm proud of you, she whispered. Both of you. Go do great things. Come back and teach when you're ready. The program will be here. They left to celebrate with their families. Jasmine stood alone in the empty ceremony room. Her phone buzzed. Mitchell again. Made it. I'm a Marine Raider now. Just got pinned. Thought you should know.
Thought you should know that the angry corporal who hit you in a mess hall is dead. Someone better was born, and it's because of you. Jasmine typed back, "The credit is yours. You chose to be better. I just showed you the path." Will you do me a favor? What? Next time you train a class, tell them about me. Not the me who hit you, the me who learned. Tell them that nobody is beyond redemption, that everyone can change if they're willing to do the work.
I will, I promise. She put her phone away, picked up the stone Keisha had given her. This was the legacy, not the violence, not the missions, not the kills. This. People becoming better than they were. People choosing growth over bitterness. People learning that strength wasn't about domination, but elevation. 1 month later, Jasmine stood in front of 60 new candidates. 30 women, 30 men. All branches, all backgrounds. Marcus Brooks stood beside her.
Keisha and Garcia had sent video messages of encouragement.
"My name is Lieutenant Jasmine Carter," she began. "Some of you know my story. Some don't. Here's what matters. I'm not here to make you like me. I'm here to make you better than me. Because that's what warriors do. We build the next generation to surpass us." She held up the stone. "A woman named Keisha Williams gave me this after she earned her trident. It represents everyone who believed in her when she wanted to quit.
I'm giving this belief to all of you, right now, before you've done anything, before you've proven anything. I believe you can do this. The question is whether you believe it." She walked the formation, made eye contact with each candidate. You're going to suffer. You're going to want to quit. You're going to question everything. And in that moment, you'll have a choice. You can give in to the voice that says you're not good enough, or you can remember that someone believed in you before you believed in yourself. A hand raised. Young black woman, 18 years old. Name tag read Johnson.
"Ma'am, I'm here because I saw a video of you fighting a Marine who'd assaulted you. You could have destroyed him, but you taught him instead. That's when I knew. I knew that being strong didn't mean being cruel. It meant being strong enough to show mercy."
Jasmine's throat tightened. The video still making waves 2 years later. What's your name?
"Recruit Johnson, ma'am."
Johnson, that video shows one moment, one choice. But I make that choice every day. Every time I train someone, I'm choosing to build instead of break. And that's what I'm asking from all of you. Choose to build. Choose to make others better. Choose to be warriors who create warriors. The formation was silent. Training starts tomorrow at 0400. Get some rest. You're going to need it.
She dismissed them. Marcus approached as they walked away.
You're changing the culture, ma'am. One class at a time.
We're changing it. You, me, Keisha, Garcia, everyone who chooses to teach instead of tear down.
Deshaun would be proud.
So would Santos. So would my father.
They're watching, ma'am. They're always watching. Jasmine touched the trident at her chest, felt the weight of every person who'd worn it before her, every person who'd died earning it, every person who'd taught her what it meant. That night, she sat in her quarters and wrote a letter. Not to anyone specific, just to the future.
To the women and men who will come after me. You don't know me yet, but I know you. I know you're scared. I know you doubt yourself. I know you wonder if you're good enough. Here's what I learned. Good enough is a lie. There's no such thing as good enough. There's only willing. Willing to suffer. Willing to learn. Willing to become.
If you're willing, you'll make it. And when you make it, remember something. You didn't do it alone. You did it because someone believed in you. Someone taught you. Someone showed you the way. Now it's your turn. Teach the next person. Show them the way. Build the legacy. That's what warriors do. That's what we've always done. That's what we'll always do. She signed it, dated it, put it in an envelope marked for future classes. Then she lay down, closed her eyes, saw Brooks and Santos smiling, saw her father standing proud, saw Mitchell becoming the man he should have been all along, saw Keisha and Garcia earning their tridents, saw 60 candidates about to start their journey. And she knew. She finally knew. This was why she'd survived Somalia. This was why Brooks and Santos had died covering her extraction. This was why her father had raised her to be strong, not to be the best warrior, but to create the best warriors. Not to win the most fights, but to make sure the next generation could win theirs. Not to earn glory, but to pass forward the legacy. She was no longer the woman who'd hidden in a mess hall while a bully hit her. She was no longer the operator who'd killed 17 men and carried the weight like chains. She was Lieutenant Jasmine Carter, Navy SEAL, instructor, teacher, builder of warriors, and she was just getting started. Because the legacy wasn't about her. It never had been. It was about every person who came before and every person who would come after. It was about the trident, what it represented, what it demanded, what it gave. It was about choosing every single day to be better than you were yesterday, to build instead of break, to teach instead of destroy, to elevate instead of dominate. That was the legacy. That was the mission. That was the purpose. And Jasmine Carter would carry it forward until the day she couldn't anymore. Then she'd pass it to someone else. Someone like Keisha. Someone like Garcia. Someone like the 60 candidates sleeping tonight before tomorrow's 0400 wake-up. The chain would continue. The legacy would grow. The warriors would multiply. Because that's what Brooks had died teaching her. That's what Santos had died protecting. That's what her father had lived believing. Warriors don't just fight. Warriors build. Warriors create. Warriors make others strong. And Jasmine Carter was a warrior. Not because of the 17 kills, not because of the trident, not because of Somalia or BUD/S or anything she'd survived, but because she chose, every day, to make others better than herself. That was real strength. That was real courage. That was the real fight. And she'd won it.